Hi everybody, thanks for joining us today. The Ukrainian Airline Pilots Association presents another video for fellow pilots around the world. This video is about an attempt to impose not only pilots, but also the Army, the National Guard, the Police, the Secret Service, the Prosecutor's Office, the State Emergency Service, transport workers of Ukraine with additional psychophysiological examinations. Many of our viewers were born in an already established democratic country. There is no need to fight for democracy as soon as it had already been given from above. Well, not actually from above. In your country, it means that fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers fought for democracy. Ukraine is moving towards democracy right now, and things your grandfathers and great-grandfathers did in your countries with long-standing democratic traditions we are doing right now. And here is an example. And for those who are still sitting and waiting for a change, a lesson. Somewhere in a parallel reality in the summer of 2022, a war is also going on in Ukraine. And here is scenario number 1. Psychophysiological examination room. No, fellow, you can't join the army, work for the police, hold a gun or fly an airplane. You can't even be trusted to control the drone. As soon as you see an enemy on the TV screen, your hands will begin to shake and your fingers will sweat. You will kill your friends. Yes, I can, I really want. Others are there with weapons, I'm going to help them. Listen to me. You can't go with such psychophysiological states of the senses, sensations and perceptions, organization of movements, activity, attention, memory and learning, speech and thinking, motivation and emotions, sleep, stress and functional states. What should I do? I don't know, think carefully again. Well, so if I go this way or... Here we go, finally! I see your ability to resist stress, to find a way out in a critical situation. Here is the conclusion. Now you are qualified to be a real soldier. Join the army and protect your homeland. Now is scenario number 2, which is even much worse. Military Recruitment Center. No, sir, I cannot join the army, work in the police, hold a weapon, or an airplane control column. I can't even be trusted with a drone. As soon as I see an enemy on the TV screen, my hands will start shaking and my fingers will sweat. I can kill our soldiers. As you can see, I don't fit your criteria of psychophysiological state of the sense organs, sensations and perceptions, organization of movements, activity, voluntary actions, attention, memory and learning, speech and thinking, motivation and emotions, sleep, stress and functional states. I can prove it to you. Show an appropriate medical certificate. It would be so funny if it wasn't so sad. Such a parallel reality could become our reality. There was our reality in the summer of 2011. The Ministry of Health of Ukraine has registered the draft resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers. According to the decree, pilots, in addition to a psychiatrist and narcologist, must undergo a neuropsychological evaluation. For clarification, before each medical examination, and we made a separate video about it in Ukraine, the pilots must be examined by both a narcologist and a psychiatrist. The narcologist detects and treats diseases. The psychiatrist identifies and treats diseases. The neuropsychologist identifies and corrects conditions. There are no psychophysiological diseases. It would seem that one certificate more, it's okay, but what are the consequences? Moreover, the mandatory examination concerns not only pilots. On the screen we can see a list of jobs where, according to the new decree, a specialist needs to undergo this examination in order to have the right to work. Yes, we are now in our reality. But did everyone read this draft resolution to the end? Behind a skillfully written explanatory note, behind a beautiful preamble at the beginning of the resolution itself, an unpleasant sentence was hidden for all the employees of this list. In paragraph 1 of the explanatory note to the draft resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers, as expected, there was a justification. Most accidents and catastrophes are a direct consequence of inadequate human activity. Lie. Accidents and injuries due to the human factor are usually due to the admission to hazardous types of work of persons whose professionally important psychophysiological qualities do not meet the requirements of professional activity. Complete nonsense. The problem of this discrepancy is largely solved by measures of psychophysiological expertise. Obvious deceit. The main sign of a lie is in the lack of an evidence for the statement, the lack of statistics. How all this is easy to recognize is taught in special courses on the investigation of aviation accidents. Our next video is about investigation of aviation accidents in Ukraine. For example, the fact that doctors are simply hiding behind safety concerns is proven by one simple thing. The examination does not apply to road users, where the accident rate is simply catastrophic. And no, the trade union is blocking this project not because of the explanatory note. In the list of qualities that an employer of a particular profession should have, evaluated by a psychophysiologist, there are no medical terms at all. We are still in our reality. A psychophysiologist will tell you in a 15-minute session how irresponsible and forgetful you are. The list just lacks such qualities as cautiousness, politeness, and the last 29th paragraph of the regulations on psychophysiological examination, which establishes the procedure for contesting the results of an examination in a scientific and practical center, ends with the phrase, quote, "The conclusion of this examination is final." This is beyond any concept of legality. But Ukraine is already moving to Europe, therefore, in the explanatory note to the project there is paragraph 9, Position of Social Partners, which says, "The draft resolution is being coordinated with a joint representative body of all Ukrainian trade unions and trade union associations for collective bargaining and social dialogue at the national level." Here we go. It's our democracy, or at least you've got a picture how it looks like. What is the real democracy we have? The pilots' union is sounding the alarm. It appeals to representatives of trade unions of other professions indicated in the list, but they do not see the threat. Give up or put off someone who is trying, under the guise of caring for people's health and hiding behind the term labor protection, to get unlimited rights and unlimited opportunities. Indirectly manage and control almost the entire society. Army, National Guard, police, the Secret Service, Prosecutor's office, emergency service, transport. The pilots' trade union decided to block this draft resolution. But there are too few of us. Hopeless situation again? Not for pilots. Our profession essentially implies the ability to make the right decision in an emergency and eliminate the threat. So, let's deal with this issue. Through the Federation of Transport Trade Unions of Ukraine, pilots blocked the draft resolution proposed by the Ministry of Health. The desire to subjugate others has been repulsed for a long time. Why such confidence that the desire to subjugate still took place? The answer is simple. The ministry did not even try to make changes, but simply withdrew the draft resolution from any considerations. And just before the war in 2021, an attempt to return to a mandatory psychophysiological assessment was no longer successful. The country has already changed. Ukrainian society has become completely different. These days, in our sky, a well-known novel, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, is no longer possible.